I wanted to let you know about a Periscope session that I'm doing today called Snitches Get Stitches. Office Politics is Not Fair. Join me today. You can check out www.seenversusshadow.com for more information. Good morning, guys. It's Cesara. Today is March the 3rd, and I want to talk to you about the series that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks is indirect retaliation, and this is called Snitches Get Stitches. Office politics just isn't fair. So for more information about Seen versus Shadow is teaching people how to maneuver business and office politics with more morality, integrity, and health intact. You can visit us at www.seenversusshadow.com. Also at Instagram page, I'm Cesara J. My Twitter is Cesara Johnson, and Facebook is Seen versus Shadow. So let's get right into it. So the last time we talked, what we talked about last time was indirect retaliation and how in the seen world, or the seen world is the documented world that business allows for you to see. So it's where they adhere to policies and procedures that are actually written that can be traced. So in the seen world, human resources says that you can report anything that you see as retaliation. So you're able to, it doesn't matter what it is, you can report anything that you feel is retaliation or retaliatory. And in the seen world, that's a great policy. That's such a great policy to support a victim of office politics. Now, in the shadow world is the world of the office politics where there's manipulation, there can be unethical behavior, there are things that are happening that are very hidden. So in that world, when you're constantly telling, or when you're telling more than once or twice, three times about anything that is happening to you, even if it is happening to you, you're seen as a complainer, you're seen as overly sensitive, possibly that you're imagining things. And people can't see retaliation that's happening to you a lot, because a lot of times when you're the victim of office politics or business politics, retaliation comes to you, and because you're one person and you're going against other people, or you're going against a business as a whole, and so there's retaliation that comes to you in so many different directions, but people can't always see what's happening to you. But if you go and you're telling HR or any other investigative agency what's happening to you, you're seen as a tattletale, you're seen as a snitch, you're seen as somebody who's problematic. The thing about office politics is that it's not fair. It's just not fair, and it is what it is. So you have to learn not to have that in your vocabulary, because if you go around thinking, well, this is not fair, I don't know why I'm going through this is just not fair, this is not fair, this is not fair, that's going to cause you more stress than need be. Get fairness out of your vocabulary. Don't even allow it to come to your lips. Office politics is not fair. Retaliation is not fair. Indirect retaliation is not fair. So get over it. Get over it. Remember, this is a game, and it's about the survival of the fittest. And so by you keeping retaliation or fairness on your lips, that's not going to help you win. Now, again, Seen versus Shadow is to help you maneuver office politics and business politics ethically. So I don't want you to do anything that's unfair, that's manipulation, or that's problematic or unethical. But I'm trying to say to you that if you think that things should be fair, it's going to cause you more stress and grief when you're trying to maneuver the game of office politics. So again, I can't stress this enough. Let the idea of fairness go when it comes to office politics. Just let it leave your lips. Now, the reality is that in the shadow world, and if you're in business, even if you are the recipient of office politics and you're actually the victim, it doesn't matter. You're still seen as an issue if your name comes up in that sort of capacity. So again, it's great to be able to, in the scene world, it's great to be able to tell people or to report an issue. But the reality is, once your name gets around as someone who's been involved in some sort of case, or that you're the subject of any sort of issue, so any sort of human resources issue, you become problematic, even if you are the victim. So what I want to do is I want to talk about solutions that you can use in order to maneuver office politics and indirect retaliation. Number one, never let on that you care about your reputation. You cannot let on that you care about your reputation. Now, again, I want you to maneuver this world ethically. So you need to care about your reputation. That's important, but you can't let anybody else know that. Why? Because in the game of office politics, if they know that you care about something, they will use it against you. They will use it against you. So it's your job to not allow people to know the hand of cards that you have. So that's number one. Number two, keep your performance high. And you should be doing this right now, even before you've gotten into any sort of office politics, or even before you've gotten retaliation towards you. You should always have your performance high, no matter what. I don't care if you don't feel like it. If you don't feel like working, you need to call off. You need to take a day and call off, because it's important that you have a reserve tank of excellent performance, because just in case you are accidentally or unintentionally or purposely or unawareingly, that's not a word, but you know what I mean. But if you are placed into the game of office politics and you are unaware, you need to make sure that you have high performance as a weapon. Now, I did a scope on keeping your performance up. So you can actually go to www.sceneversusshadow.com to actually, I don't want to talk about that, keeping your performance up on this scope. So you can go to www.sceneversusshadow.com to see the scope that I did on keeping your performance high. So next, what you need to do is be well read. So you want to establish yourself as an expert even before you get into the game of office politics. Now, if you're already into the game of office politics, you still need to establish yourself as an expert, because you need to be known as beneficial to the company. When all else is said and done, the bottom line is the company's bottom line. So you need to be well read. You need to be joining associations, your professional associations, becoming industry experts, things like that. Now, again, I had that on Scene versus Shadow. So be well read in your industry. Be known as a field expert, because that will be a weapon for you to be seen as someone who's beneficial. So that you're most likely to have someone to have your back in the game of office politics when you need them. And that goes into the next solution. The next solution is build strategic relationships before you ever need them. In the game of office politics, a lot of toxic people are protected by leaders because they are beneficial, because those toxic people are beneficial. They have strategic relationships that allow them to be protected. The reality is that sometimes leaders don't realize that they are protecting toxic people because they are focused on a different level of work than you may be used to. I also have an article on sceneversusshadow.com, and it's called Their Might in Your Health. It talks about the 3 levels of business that you need to know if you're going to maneuver the game of office politics. because you may be on one level and not realize that the game of office politics is on a completely different level. So again, you want to build strategic relationships. You need to have people willing to protect you, even if it's only for a certain amount of time. So that's another reason why you need to build strategic relationships. The reality is that not everybody is your friend. They're not. But sometimes people who are not your friend can protect you because you share a same purpose. So you have to know the difference between having strategic relationships with people who are actually committed to you. And when I say committed to you, these are people who would be willing to lose their jobs, their money, their reputation to defend you. But then there are some people who are the enemy of your enemy. And because they're the enemy of your enemy, they will also protect you because they have a shared purpose. Now, the reality is that those people could become your enemies eventually, but for this set amount of time, they will protect you because you're going against a similar enemy or a similar opposition. So, now, again, I need you to be ethical because, again, this is a game of office politics. I've seen a lot, but I want you to be able to maneuver it ethically, okay? So, next, you need someone to vouch for your importance when you're away. So, you need somebody to vouch for your importance behind the scene. So, you need to start building up mutually beneficial relationships with managers, leaders, and even influential staff members, because sometimes there are staff members who do not have rank, but they have influence. And that's important for the game of office politics. So again, you need people that know your worth and can vouch for you when you are not there. They can be the ones who have your back behind the scenes, even if they don't know that you're going through a game of office politics. Okay, and let's see. I do want to say this because I want to respect your times at work. So just remember that I do have a hotline for people who are going through the game of office politics. You may be dealing with a lot and you need support. You can call this, or you can go to www.scene-versus-shadow. You can check out the different options. You can either have support for yourself. You can talk to me personally, just one-on-one. You can talk with a group of 5 people in an intimate setting. You can also talk with a group of 12 people. And what I would like to do in a few of those sessions is, of course, I want you to be free to talk about your issues and your concerns, but I also want to talk about the power of networking and how to build strategic relationships before you even need them in the game of office politics. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, of course, you can contact me on any of my social media pages. Thank you for attending. Have an amazing day and stay encouraged, okay? Take care.